Bargain Quest. This is a card drafting game with an interesting twist about many common themes that we find in recent gaming, especially in fantasy gaming. That is a new approach to dungeon crawling, in which you do not do the crawling. Why should you do that? When there are these suckers here that are gonna buy your stuff, you simply have your own store of useful or not so useful stuff. As long as they buy them, it's good for you. So you equip them with stuff that you sell them, then they go down the dungeon. If they come back alive, good for you, because that advertises your store. So very interesting idea that shows you can still profit from dungeon crawling without doing the unpleasant crawling and disabling traps and being maimed by monsters and stuff like that. Each player has a board such as this one. The board's a different art, but the general idea remains the same. This represents your store. There's going to be a number of heroes that want to go down the dungeons and are going to stop by your stores to buy stuff. They're represented by cards in this deck, and so as you can see, they have a number of gold coins that they come with, a symbol or multiple symbols indicating their class and also indicating the type of items that they can equip. They have an attack value, a defense value, and then unique abilities that may trigger in different circumstances and do different things. So we draw a number of these heroes equal to the number of players. Suppose we have 3 of them, we make them available. When we draw them, we give them the money that we know they come with. These are fairly wealthy heroes, 20, 20, and 25. And then it's time to grab some items. We have a pretty thick deck of items. So a lot of variety here, a lot of, jokes, tongue-in-cheek references to fantasy tropes. So some items are very good, some not so much. There's a curd elixir or a flask of wine that will reduce their ability to fight. But hey, as long as you buy them, that's not your responsibility what they do with that stuff. These items have a cost, which is what the hero will pay you if you convince them to buy the item. Icons indicating the kind of classes of heroes that can equip that item. How good the item looks in your display area. That's the number of hearts that you see here. Some items may be very good and not look so great in your display area. Some items not so good, but they look amazing. They will attract customers. And then modifiers to the attack and defense value of the heroes when the hero equips that item. Each player at the beginning of a turn receives 4 cards, and then we go 7 Wonders Sushi Go style, card drafting style. You choose one card, you give those cards to the next player, and the player on the other side gives you their hand of cards, and you choose one, and you continue like this until each player has 4 cards in their area. In this game, you're also allowed to store cards from round to round. The default is 1. You may also have more cards from the previous round. So after the drafting is gone, you take your cards from your storage area, and that indicates your actual hand of cards. What do we do? First, we go to the display phase. Each turn is kind of articulate, has a number of phases, and here you have a playwright to remind you of that. So after the supply, when we get new cards and get our cards out of storage, we choose a card to display. Every player chooses a card face down, puts in the display area. The card cannot be sold this turn, and all it does is simply players reveal the cards, and the player with the most hearts, the most attractive item, will get to choose first. If there is a tiebreaker, then is the highest value of the item. I should say highest price. It's not the same as value, especially in this game, you'll realize that. The highest price, the tiebreaker here. So, this display phase will determine the order in which people get to select the heroes that they want to attract, and the hero that they attract must also have an icon that matches the icon of the hero you want to attract. So this is my display. Suppose I go first and I decide to get this hero here, and the hero now is in my store. Another player will get this one, another player will get that one. And now is when we try to sell items to these suckers. We can seldom items from our hands as long as those items again match at least one of the icons there, and as long as the hero can pay for those things. And for example, I can give this hero maybe a staff. That would be 5. And ooh, with that one, no, let's give them a magic helmet, 20, and the hero can spend 20. Or any combination really. Maybe I want to give them these other items here. Again, they add up to 20. So you sell them the items and you take the money. Thank you very much. When all the heroes are ready and they have their items equipped, it's time to go on an adventure. In each game, there will be 3 monsters that need to be defeated. A monster level 1, monster level 2, monster level 3. They need to be defeated in that order, and they come from a deck of cards with multiple options. So each game you will have different monsters. Beginning of the game, so we have monster 1, and the monster has a defense and an attack value, and also they will have different other effects. Now, each hero is ready to go, on an adventure. But then Lady Luck plays a role. When every hero with their weapons and modifiers is ready to go, you also draw a card that may apply modifiers. Here, this hero has just gained some coins, but other things. The hero may gain extra defense, extra attack, a lot of extra stuff, or maybe even bad stuff with other effects, but still. There may be a modifier, and suppose that this hasty hero does the card that they get. So for each hero, you check if they're able to inflict a wound on the enemy. If their total attack, when all modifiers are applied, is equal to or higher than the defense of the monster, they score a hit, and you place a 1 marker on that monster. Here, for example, we have an attack of 3, 4, 5, 6. Boom, that's definitely a hit against that monster that has a defense of 4. Once everybody had a chance, and you, that sold them that beautiful set of weapons, score a victory point when the hero you equipped scores a hit on the monster, inflicts a wound on the monster. Then each hero checks if they survived your deal. You look at the total modified defense value of the hero, 2, 3, 4, 3 because of the penalty. If that is equal to or higher than the attack value of the monster, the hero survives, and you again score a victory point. Otherwise, the hero is dead. If the total of wounds inflicted on a monster, possibly in multiple turns, is equal to or higher than the number of players, so in a 3-player game, each monster has 3 life points, let's call them that way. So if you're able to inflict wounds equal to or higher than the number of players, the monster is defeated, and each hero gains that's still alive, gains the number of points, of coins. If the monster is wounded but not killed, then the heroes that survive their deal get that lower number of coins. They slap the monster, they're able to steal something on the way out. So now these heroes may have more money, may come back with some money. Between rounds, they lose all of the cards that you sold, which is great. Planned obsolescence is a great thing for us sellers of useless or not so useless wares. So after the shopping and the adventure, the heroes may have generated 0, 1, or 2 victory points for you, depending on whether they hit or not, whether they survived or not. If they survive, they come back with some money, maybe a lot if they kill the monsters, not so much if they only gave a little tap on the monster's head. Then we get to the upgrade phase, when the players get a chance to upgrade their store by buying cards from these 2 decks. These are simply multiple copies of this card, a multiple copy of this card. This card will allow you to have an extra display, an extra card in your display, giving you better chances of choosing first. If you spend money once you have it, you improve it even further, so you can have 2 cards extra in display. This one allows you to have an extra card in storage. Once you have it, if you spend more money, you flip it and you get even better storage. Also, during the upgrade phases, when players can hire some of these people for that cost, gaining the benefit described on the card. You simply apply that effect. Is pretty self-explanatory. After the upgrade phase, we have the storage phase, when players can choose cards from their hand that they weren't able to sell and store them from round to round. The number again depends on how many storage upgrades you had. And that ends the turn. I know it's a lot of phases for ultimately getting these people with some weapons to attack the monsters and see what happens. A lot of work to see if you're able to get those victory points there. The game continues until the third monster is defeated. At that point, you see how many victory points you're able to collect, money that you still have. Each 10 coins that you still have is worth a victory point. So right there, 4 victory points. And at that point, the player with the highest total wins the game. I like Bargain Quest, but also not. Like it, not love it. There's a lot to like here, but to me, something was missing there for me to truly fall in love. Let's start actually with the thing that I think prevents me from truly falling in love. It feels like a present with many layers of gift wrap, and then the present is not that big. Now, if the present to start with was presented as a small filler, as Carte, which is a really minimalistic game, it'd be fine. But this is not a filler. But ultimately, I feel that what matters is just the big duel that you have there. But you have to work so hard and through so many phases, and so those feel pretty procedural to get to when you finally get your hero to fight the monster, and then maybe there is a card that prevents your plan from really come to fruition, which is okay. I don't mind. I would say I wouldn't mind if now we're playing this turn in which you attack the monster. 2 minutes from now we have another turn in which I attack the monster. So if I failed earlier, now I have another chance, it's fine. But I get this one chance of attacking the monster, and then we go through so many other steps and so many other passages. I think this is a game that I like for so many reasons, but the one thing that again prevents the total love explosion from me is too many steps, almost like a novel with too many words, some music with too many notes to get to the point. I wish it was streamlined. I think it was a somehow simplified, shorter version, or a version. It doesn't feel too long. It just, again, there are too many preparation and cleanup steps between what was the most fun element. So, now back to all the stuff that I like, of course. Well, again, there's quite a bit. I like the art. I like, of course, the fantasy references. I like the diversity that you have in all the characters that do not follow all the stereotypes that we had traditionally from Sword and Sorcery. I like the humor stake that you have here. When you have humor stakes on fantasy, of course, you think of Munchkin, which is, in my opinion, pretty unplayable. So this is better than Munchkin. So if you're looking for a humor stake on fantasy, this one is better. This is even the humor is more fun, is more subtle when you get a hero stuck with a stinker of an item, and by some strange twist of fate they survive, and in the world of the story you become famous because you sold them the stinker that now everybody believes it's a great item. There is fun in that. As for the mechanics, also there are interesting elements. I like upgrading my store. Although there, you can get the standard upgrades, or you can hire those other people, that, in my opinion, they just don't seem as interesting, as powerful as getting those other upgrades about storage and about extra display. So that also feels a little bit, I don't know, underdeveloped or undervalued or underused. But then the drafting element, that is fun. Interacting again with those heroes. I've seen people make mistakes, such as you put the best card in your display with a ton of hearts. No, multiple cards with a ton of hearts. It's unbeatable. But you forgot that those cards don't have the symbols of the hero that you wanted. So you go and pick first, but you can't pick the hero that you had in mind. I've seen people do that all the time, and my daughters love it. I have mixed feelings about it. Gameplay is fun, but again, there's just something a little bit I don't know, too laborious. I love the theme. I would say I love the theme. The mechanics bring it to life with all of the different items and monsters that do different things, and heroes. It really is a game that I find enjoyable because of the theme, and the mechanics are not as elegant as I would like them to be for the theme to really shine. But then, when it all works, when you did all your preparation work, and you have the cleric with the magic maze and the other crazy thing that goes and attacks the garbage troll, epic monster in the game, it's fun. It's fun. The implementation of the theme is very interesting to me, and it's enjoyable. Again, I wish the game was a little more streamlined. Caveat: I played it only with children. My daughters are 8 and 9 right now, so maybe if I play with adults, I'll tell you differently. Maybe with adults, things go a lot faster. People don't make mistakes like getting the wrong cards in the display. Unlikely that's gonna happen anyways. But I just put that disclaimer there that playing with children, I acknowledge my experience may be different, but these are times of pandemic, so this is what I can play, and this is what I can review. So Bargain Quest, I like it, but also not. But actually, something I want to point out: my daughters do like it. They like it a lot. They actually asked me to play several times. So while I may not like it all that much, I like it and love it. I love seeing how crazy my daughters are about this game, because they do love, and they don't mind going through all the steps. They do love seeing their hulked out hero that they put so much swag on to go in and attack the monster, and then they make money off that. Who doesn't like that? So I find the game is a little inelegant from the point of view of the design, at least for me. But it works with other players that really are in love with the theme, that they enjoy the humor of the theme and don't mind go through all those steps. Maybe it's you, maybe some of your adult friends. In my family, it's my daughters. They really, really enjoy this game. I like it, but also not.